Another episode of All Gases, No Breaks. We got the man in the middle, Mr. TJ Brunson. You ready to get this gasser over back?
Let's do it.
Let's do it, man. So talk about you getting to Carolina. You know, everybody always tells the story about Coach Muschamp. His first day, the first person he came to see was you.
TJ Brunson, a local linebacker from Richmond Northeast, played for Jay Fry, a former Gamecock, a guy that's really instinctive off the ball, travels fast with the football, is a really good tackler in space, and a guy that we're really excited about. Was the first player that I saw after my press conference here at South Carolina.
Talk about it from your side of the story. You remember that day? You remember kind of that recruitment day right there?
Oh, yeah. I just came back from doing something with my family, and Coach called me and asked if I could be up at the school because I was already out. And I was like, yeah, sure. So I went right up to the school, and he came in the office and was just like, you know, I really like you, and you're a really important guy to us, and I think that you'd be a good fit for the Gamecocks. And I mean, after that, it basically took off.
That's right. You couldn't, kind of hard to tell that the head man no when he especially tells it to you in person.
Yeah.
So, being a local guy, how important was it to kind of stay around here in South Carolina, kind of close to your roots, close to home, and, you know, represent your home state to play football?
It was big, especially, you know, my parents and everything. Yeah. They would be able to come to every game and, you know, just be around, and I just knew that it would be a good fit for me to stay close to home and just build around the community that's already here.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So, obviously, an elite football player. I heard the rumors that you used to be kind of a baseball guy. Is that true too? You used to play baseball a little bit?
Yeah.
All right, let me hear some of these baseball stories, because I used to think I was going to be a good baseball player until I got cut from the baseball team, and then I found football. So I'm sure you had a way better story than I had, man.
I played third base for the most part.
Hot corner.
Yeah, I loved it. You know, I wish I could have played a little bit longer, but I had a few injuries throughout high school, so I missed my sophomore year. I played varsity my freshman year all the way through, and I just thought, you know, I thought a lot of the sport, I thought a lot of the game, you know. It was definitely fun, but, you know, when you're pretty decent at it too, it's definitely a lot more fun.
Definitely. Being good at something always helps, man.
Yeah.
So, what's the one thing you liked about baseball? You like the defensive side, being in the field. I'm sure you like to hit, turn on the pitch every now and again.
Yeah, I like to hit. I definitely like to hit, but I think the biggest thing for me was the mental side. You know, you could strike out, and then you never know when that ball is coming, and you know, you can turn on it and, you know, change the game around. But just battling through all of the adversities that come with it.
Man, I love to hear that, especially from our middle linebacker now, because I think that's so synonymous with football, because, you know, football, they always talk about you never know which play is going to be the one to make the difference. Same way with baseball, you know, there's a reason you can go 1 for 3 every game and still go into the Hall of Fame or something like that. So you never know which pitch is going to be the next one. Coming up on this next turn right here, so the cerebral side of football, is that kind of the chess match stuff? Because I see you always moving around, moving the guys. Of course, you always got to get the guys, us defensive linemen always lined up. You know, we never want to listen, we're always tired. But the cerebral side of football, is that something you really like? Because obviously I know you like the physical side, you're always racking up tackles, but talk about the cerebral side of football, that competitive thing.
Yeah, definitely. That goes into just the preparation throughout the week, understanding what the offense is trying to do, how they run their schemes and things. But, you know, when you're on the field and playing, you can pick up on a few things that the offense is doing and how they check things, and if they're sliding the protection and stuff, and that can just help you make more plays.
Yeah. I always say, man, being a talented football player is one thing, but being extremely smart and understanding things and the nuance inside the middle of the game really helps. You know, that can overtake talent a lot of times. So I always see that with you and the rest of these guys. So you're replacing a guy who racked up a bunch of tackles. You try to make it real hard for him last year, Skai Moore.
Yeah.
Talk about how cool it was, or just the experience of playing next to a guy like Skai Moore, who obviously is a 4-time tackling leader, just kind of similar to you, just all over the field. Talk about how that was.
Yeah, I guess the biggest thing I picked up from Skai was just, you know, to always play your game and, you know, never be scared to make a play. Yeah. He's definitely a baller, but just playing next to him, just understanding, like, you know, I could trust him and everything else with his experience. Yeah. It definitely fed into me going after he left, and it just let me know I was ready to do what he was doing, just ready to make plays and ready to lead the team.
That's awesome because, you know, you told me a little bit earlier that you're the youngest of a couple siblings, and it's the same way on football. You're always trying to do your best, but also try to set the example for the young ones behind you. And that's a perfect example right there. So coming up to this last little stretch of this gasser, man, I always like to talk about the athlete. I always like to talk about the student side too. Can you remember that first day on campus? Do you remember kind of your first class, your first experiences here at South Carolina? It was obviously a lot different from R&E going out to school there.
Yeah, so my first class was when I came in during the summer. It was a sport 490 class, I believe, with Sporty Gerald's. And he just made it very clear, like, you know, this is your time to grow. You're in college now. This is your time to grow, and you should take advantage of everything that you're given and all of the opportunities. So, I mean, the campus was big. There weren't many people there at first, but once fall came, it was just like
a whole different city, right? You're like, man, where did all these people come from?
Exactly.
Man? But that's always the lessons within the lesson. You get the education, but then, you know, having a great big university, you get the experience of having so many people, man. That's the great thing about being a Gamecock. My man, TJ Brunson, man, he killed the gasser, no problem, man. We could talk to him all day. We appreciate your time, brother.
Thank you.
Thank y'all, man.